would be good if we could write some statements that describe what students do to demonstrate their knowledge. So kind of some I can statements. We want to do it student friendly. So if we think about our 8EE5, so kind of just to remind you, we talked about graphing proportional relationships, interpreting unit rate as a slope, and comparing two different proportional relationships.
Gosh, the standard seems
What do you
pretty
think?
straightforward.
Yeah. I can graph proportional relationships.
Okay. I can graph proportional relationships. Okay. Is that it? Or I think we got to get something about the interpreting and comparing.
I can maybe, would you say like I can find the unit rate and connect it to the slope of the line, or
Connected to a graph.
how would you say that? How would it be something
Because
measurable for
finding
a
the
kid?
unit rate, I think, is more 6th grade, even 7th grade. So we got to move. We got to go. I think it's that word interpreting. I kind of circled that word interpreting. So are they? Where are they getting the unit rate from? Is it from the relationship, from the graph, from the equation? I guess it could be any of those things.
Yeah.
And in 7th grade, they identified the constant of proportionality, but they didn't call it a slope.
Well, I mean, the standard does say the unit rate as the slope of the graph. So to me, it's tying it a lot to the graph. So
Okay.
they're pulling it from the graph and then interpreting what that means.
Okay, so what would you say? I can.
I can find unit rate from a graph
Okay.
and interpret its contextual meaning or its meaning in the problem.
And interpret its meaning in the problem. Okay, so I can find the unit rate from a graph and interpret its meaning in the problem. Okay, I like
We
it.
need to put something in there too about slope, maybe a different I can
Oh,
about
yeah.
slope.
So part of the same I can statement or a new one?
Or maybe could you, what does it say?
I can find the unit rate from a graph and interpret its meaning in the problem.
I can find the slope from a graph and interpret its unit rate meaning for the problem.
Oh, I like it. I can find the slope from a graph, so the slope of a line from a graph, and interpret its meaning as the unit rate
Yeah.
in the problem. I like it. Okay. Let's do one more to get at the comparison part. That's the other big thing I circled.
It's kind of the way that it's written is pretty
All right, go for it.
straightforward. I can compare two different proportional relationships represented in different ways.
Yeah. That's a
I
pretty
don't know if I
straightforward-
could make it any better than that.
Be adding a lot more words.
Maybe just to say compare it in two different ways to answer a question. Right, like I like that, like which one had the greater speed. That makes me be able to interpret,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
The example in the companion document really, I think, speaks to that need of more question.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something to focus on.
I think that covers. So we have I can graph proportional relationships. I can find the slope of a line from a graph and interpret its meaning as the unit rate in the problem. I can compare two different proportional relationships in different ways to answer a question. I think those are good. Okay.
Yeah.
So now we need to go back to our resources and our unit, the linear equations in two variables, and start thinking about how we're going to take this and look at our resources and bridge into that lesson planning. Okay.
All right.